Hi everyone, this is Aaron for Zollotech, and we're going to compare iOS 5 with Windows Phone 7 Mango and Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. So we're using the latest devices, and what we're going to do is have a series of videos that compares the features and what each device does that's different from one another. This isn't really a competition video or even my opinion when it comes to these devices. It's more of how do they function and how will they work for you. So today we're going to talk about the device itself and what your options are. Many of you know what an iPhone is. This is an iPhone 4S, and we have the latest generation of each phone, and we'll cover that in a moment. But here is the 4S, and the 4S looks like the 4. We know what it is. It's pretty well known what an iPhone looks like, and this is the choice you get. It makes it very easy to decide which phone you want, but it also limits you as far as screen size and what the device feels like in your hand. Overall build quality of the iPhone is about the best you're going to get in any phone. It's got glass on both sides, as many of you know. I do have a screen protector on both sides, but it has glass on both sides, which makes it very nice and very high-end feeling, but it also makes it easily breakable when it comes to the back and dropping it. So overall, it's a really nice phone. Feature-wise, you're going to get a nice 8-megapixel flash camera that does great 1080p video recording. You've got a forward-facing camera for FaceTime. And overall, it's a decent phone. It's got a great screen, a really high-resolution screen, the Retina display, and it's really is what it is. You've got Apple's entire ecosystem of Mac and iTunes, and between the iPad and iTunes Match, and all these little features that work really well together, iMessage between different devices, and it all integrates extremely well across any Apple device. And it's really, again, limiting your choices to one phone, but it's one of the best phones out there. Now, as far as Windows Phone 7 is concerned, Windows Phone 7 has a very decent choice across many different devices. Recently announced, prior to me recording this video, was the HTC Titan 2. This is the HTC Titan 1, and it's pretty interesting that they decided to release that only a couple months after the Titan came out. And they upped the specs, and Nokia announced their devices as well, and they're really nice, and you have some really great options now across the platform. So Windows Phone 7, this one in particular, is running Windows Phone 7 Mango. It's the HTC Titan with a 1.5 gigahertz processor. I forgot to mention, for those of you that don't know, we have a dual-core A5 processor in the iPhone 4S. Apple doesn't specify what the speed really is, but some people assume 800 to 1 gigahertz, 800 megahertz to 1 gigahertz speed dual-core processor. In the Titan, we have a 1.5 gigahertz single-core processor, a great camera on the back. It's an 8-megapixel, records really high-quality video, and a huge screen on this phone. You get a choice in screens on the iPhone or on the Windows Phone 7, and Windows Phone 7 is really quite nice as far as the platform goes. However, you have limited resolution on the screens. The screens are 800 by 480 on every device. It's a standard that Microsoft set, and while it looks decent, it doesn't look anywhere near as good as you get on these two devices. So overall, you have that one issue, but it does standardize the platform as far as size and tiles and things like that go, and makes for a really nice experience. The text isn't going to be as clear on this phone as it would on the others, but overall, it's very legible and really nice to use. Now, we do have a forward-facing camera on this phone. We have a very nice build quality in this phone, aluminum back, plastic bottom, on the side, volume rockers, and you have a choice between Samsung, HTC, LG, and Nokia devices. And they're all really nice, and there'll be more in the future from all of those makers and others, I'm sure. When it comes to Android, as many of you know, that's about as many different platforms as you get. And that's a good and a bad thing. It's a bad thing in that it's really scattered across the whole marketplace. This is the Galaxy Nexus with a great resolution AMOLED screen. It's a 720p screen, so 1280 by 720. You have a ton of options when it comes to Android. Android is the most diverse platform of the three, and you have anything from Samsung, LG, you name it, someone's made an Android phone. So you have a huge amount of phones to pick from. The problem comes with the fragmentation in the platform itself. Currently, or at least at the time of this video, this is the only ice cream sandwich phone or Android 4.0 phone on the market. That will change very, very rapidly, but currently that's the case, and that really fragments the platform across the phones. Overall, though, you have some great hardware choices. Should you not like this phone, you have everything from the Motorola Razr, the HTC Resound, the Samsung Galaxy Nexus like this. You have the Fascinate, the old phones. I mean, you could name hundreds probably at this point where there's different Android phones across the world. And that's great, meaning that the platform is going to stick around for a while. And that's true of all of the phones. Windows Phone 7 is the latest entry into that market, with only about a year and a half under its release, not even really. And it's a great platform. It's backed by Microsoft, and it's going to last. And the reason I mention that is I get a lot of questions about that. WebOS died off pretty quickly, but that was backed by a company that was barely hanging on. As much as I liked it and liked Palm, it just unfortunately didn't make it. So Windows Phone 7 Mango is here to stay for quite some time. It's backed by the might of Microsoft. iPhone is going to change once a year. They update their hardware roughly once a year. We had the iPhone 4, 4S. This year I would assume we see the iPhone 5. The iPhone naming scheme will probably be, we'll see a redesign with the iPhone 5, and then we'll have a 5S the following year, and so on, if they continue the same way. Hopefully they give us a different screen size choice, but that's hard to say with Apple. When it comes to Windows Phone 7, they have updates they've already announced. They haven't given a really time date, but we have Tango, possibly Tango 2. Recently I've heard of Mango 2. This has Mango on it. And then Apollo, which is later. On Android, we have 4 different general versions right now, different variants of each. But Android 4 is out. As long as the patents suits that are against different Android platforms from Android or from iOS and sometimes Microsoft don't take over, we'll see Android around for a very long time as well. So I would say, at least in the near few couple years, we'll see these platforms grow and mature more and more. You'll have better phone choices. iPhone, you're going to have obviously a beautiful design. That's what they do. And we'll see them hopefully push the market and maybe stretch their OS a little bit to compete a little better against the others. And it's good to see the competition between all of them. So overall, phone choice, you have a lot between these two devices, and once a year for the iPhone. Now, if you have any questions or any comments about that, or anything you may think will be coming in the future, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. As always, I love to hear what you as subscribers and you as new viewers have to say about the platforms and where you think they're going. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please go ahead and do that. I always appreciate that. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.